Stocks are rebounding this morning thanks to an encouraging new report that the U.S. and China might be moving closer to that elusive Phase 1 trade deal we have heard so much about for so long. Bloomberg is reporting that some kind of deal could even happen before that December 15 deadline, which is very soon. Negotiators are reportedly zeroing in on how much to roll back tariffs, but agricultural purchases is still a sticking point. Now, that news comes just one day after President Trump said that he, quote, likes the idea of waiting until after the election to finalize a deal. So obviously, this is very different news.
Yes.
And excuse me if I'm not as excited and optimistic about this as the markets seem to be. The Dow is up 200 points right now.
I'm actually really surprised to see the markets do this kind of like whipsaw action, because what we've recently seen is the markets reacting, I feel like, more positively on the positive news that we've been getting, but kind of shrugging off the negative news. But to see this much back and forth, considering we keep going back and forth with this trade deal, is a little bit confusing.
I mean, it's no secret that trade impacts market action. Now, we've been following this literally every day, and I cannot even keep track of how many times we've seen it back and forth in terms of, are we gonna get a deal, are we not gonna get a deal? But it's always interesting to me when the markets are sort of a cushion for President Trump. So if we're near record highs, he's like, well, we have a little bit of cushion, so I can throw in a little, oh, maybe we'll wait until the election.
Thank you, Mr.
And
President.
then, exactly,
Right.
exactly. So, I mean, what's going to happen? We have no idea. But at the end of the day, markets will react accordingly.
And even this positive news about, okay, we're going to get that Phase 1 trade deal by the 15th, no one still knows what that even means.
Also,
no one even knows what a Phase 1 deal even looks like. So even, let's just say they do sign a deal, right? Let's just live in this world, but let's just live in the world where they do, right? We're positive here. They sign that Phase 1 deal. It literally could just mean nothing other than we will keep on talking, and we are not going to add more tariffs.
Well,
like
right,
it could just really not be, but
No
it might
new
not be
tariffs
this
until-
huge, meaty
definitely
deal
won't. Yeah.
But also,
that we're expecting or
is
hoping
it a
for.
deadline? Because the only thing that December 5th represents is the fact that
15th.
additional tariffs are going to go into,
Right.
the 15th represents that additional tariffs are going to go into place. So they never said we're going to sign something by the 15th. They just said a Phase 1 trade deal will be signed soon.
Well,
We've seen a lot of the deadlines get kicked.
Right.
Well,
What are
of course,
deadlines
there's
at
no
this point?
deadline. And to be clear, it's not even technically a trade deal.
Right.
It's just a trade agreement. Trade deals have to be approved by Congress. I love how we always call it a trade deal. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's actually not even that. So, I mean,
Trade
it's
deal
just-
episode 1.
It's just this like gentleman's agreement
Like
between
Star
the
Wars, we're gonna
presidents
have,
of the
like,
two
a bunch of
countries.
episodes.
The text rolling across the screen. Phase 1.
Yeah.
There was a good graphic recently, I'll shout out Business Week, in print, along the bottom of a page, and it had, you were saying it's hard to keep track of how many times there's been, and it had, Trump says this, and then like 40 days later says this, the exact opposite. Then he said this, we're a day away from a deal. Then he said we're 65% of the way. Then he said, we're pretty far from a deal. Then he said we're getting a deal. So you're right, it is head spinning.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.